The DC cinematic universe is moving in a new direction, a direction that might be for the better in some people's eyes, but a direction that sort of has me a little bit on the meh side of things. Axing the Trinity we've known and loved of Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck's Batman, and Henry Cavill's Superman for lesser known properties such as Creature Commandos. So this is my so long partner to DC Studios, or at least until they reboot the universe again in the next 10 years. The DC universe, how in the world did we get here? Let's talk about it. Welcome back, friends, to All Star Fandom. I know it's been a while since you've gotten a video, so thanks for your patience. Got a lot of cool things coming down the road. As you can see, we sort of moved from being a podcast to more of a YouTube show. Thus the new hashtag, also All Star Fandom Show. So this is where I'm going to get a little bit more creative in my videos and all that stuff like that. Yeah, I'll probably upload it on a podcast here and there so you can listen to it at your leisure, but the more bang for your free money is right here at the YouTube channel. So be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your family, tell everybody, tell the guy down the street, tell everybody to tune in. And on top of that, if you want to be on the show, just DM me. We can get it happening. I want to know what your fandoms are, because I'm going to discuss mine today, and I'm going to just get it all off my chest right now. So thanks for joining me on this journey. So let's get into why I'm sort of saying, well, not sort of, I'm saying goodbye to DC. DC Studios and Warner Brothers owns the rights to three of the most recognizable superheroes of all time. And instead of building the universe around them, a core that you already have and had made up of actors who everyone actually liked, and the portrayals of those characters are no longer attached to the DCU, at least as of right now, before the Flash drops at least. That will probably erase everything as we know it, and none of the after credit scenes will mean anything, even though they kind of already didn't. Instead, we're getting a Blue Beetle movie. Now, this is no knock on Blue Beetle, but it would have been great to have added Blue Beetle in an established universe, and then you truly get to see Blue Beetle interact with a lot of those main characters in the DC universe. Imagine this for a second. Imagine if Spider-Man didn't show up in Civil War alongside his heavy hitters. Not sure if you would have gotten the seal of approval from fans on that, but it also helps that you have 10 years of movies almost under your belt to be able to introduce characters in a meaningful way. Now we are slated to get a new Superman along with a new Batman, but not necessarily a Batman movie. A Batman movie centered around Damian Wayne. I'll get back to Superman in a minute, but as soon as I heard that, I instantly thought how hard it's going to be to explain that Batman to my mom, that Batman has a son. Well, it's Ra's al Ghul, tomato. He has a daughter named Talia. I think there was at one point where she drugged Batman, had a kid. Batman didn't know. She shows up out of the blue with the kid, and he then becomes the new Robin. That's just the quick spark notes on that one. I don't want to be able to explain that. I don't want to explain that to my mom or to anyone else who thinks this is confused with the other Batman movie that you have in Elseworld. So now I have to explain something totally different. How about we get, I don't know, one Batman movie, a standalone, and then another Batman movie perhaps? Have an after credit scene of a woman showing up at Bruce's house, and then we all know that it's Talia, right? Or we just hint that it is. Hardcore fans would know. But I'm getting ahead of myself. She says, "Hello, my beloved," and a child steps from behind her. No words are said, just Bruce Wayne staring at Damian, and Damian looking at his scowling face at Bruce. And then we just fade to black. Then you get one more movie to explain Robin's story or Damian Wayne's story. Maybe throw in Ra's al Ghul as the villain, perhaps. I don't know. I just feel like you can give all of that into a movie and then create him the Robin that we know by the end, and then take his story wherever you want to go. But again, we don't have an established Batman in this universe at all. At all. Okay? So, what's wild is that through everything, we never got that Ben Affleck solo movie when he is overwhelmingly one of the best to ever put on that cowl. He fit the bill in every aspect. As Bruce Wayne, he was flawless. As Batman, and through his evolution through 2 movies, amazing. Along with the best Batman suit to ever grace the screen. I will admit, I've been waiting a very long time for somebody to try to pull that trigger and make that gray suit work. And boy, did they ever make it work. Flawless will be used a lot in this, but that was one of those chef kiss moments. Okay, so now let's get to Superman. DC and Warner Brothers had one of the, if not one of the best portrayals of Superman. You had a great guy. He was a great Superman, and you decided to move on from him. Still befuddles the mind, right? So Black Adam, obviously, didn't do as well as everyone expected, but everyone was over the moon excited about Henry Cavill being Superman again when he showed up in the post-credit scene. Everyone loved him as Superman, and y'all did him really dirty, DC and Warner Bros. Really, really dirty. You have him suit up in Black Adam, thinking that he's gonna be Superman again, and you take it away from him. Y'all were wild for that one. All right. So, and then Superman, and then when Justice League came out, you CG'd his upper lip. He had a headless cameo in Shazam that wasn't even him. And he never got another standalone sequel. But we definitely wanted, I know as a fan on my end, Henry Cavill to be our Superman in this universe. And I feel like you're keeping things from the universe, but taking things out. We'll see how that Flash movie goes. But the portrayal of Superman and Clark Kent that Henry Cavill gave might have been the most grounded Superman has ever been, and he felt like a real person. He wasn't Mr. Perfect. Battling with becoming the savior of the world, essentially, after being told to hide. I like that Superman story because we've never seen the man with all the powers vulnerable in the beginning and questioning whether or not he should do this. That was cool to see. And through it all, on the other side of everything, he was finally going to become the Superman that we all know and love. But we'll never get that portrayal from Henry Cavill, which is super disappointing. And of course, we move on to Wonder Woman. Big fan here. Gal Gadot was phenomenal in that movie. I believe that was Wonder Woman's first live action appearance since Linda Carter, but I'm not sure if that NBC Wonder Woman TV show ever saw the light of day. If you can find it on YouTube, it's there. I think the pilot episode, it's about as cheesy as you can get. It's good cheese though. It's really, it's really good cheese. So check that out. As a matter of fact, if I find it, I'll drop it in the description below so you don't have to go and find it. So you can pause this video, go to that, and then come back. But I digress. Wonder Woman's intro to the DCU was an amazing one. Saving Batman, and then that theme song. Man, that theme song. I just play that on the regular sometime, and I hum it like almost every day, it feels like. But it was so good, it was so gold. This was the Wonder Woman we wanted. From BVS to Wonder Woman to Zack Snyder's Justice League, her portrayal was perfect. She was strong, she loved the battle, and then we unfortunately got Wonder Woman 84, and all of that was taken away just like that. Let's just say DC and Warner Brothers had a lot of cooks in the kitchen at this time because they were going a new direction, and that direction was directionless. This was the base, the foundation of the DCU. You have it, now grow it, build it. But Warner Brothers DC was like, nah, dog, we good. You know why we're good? You know why we're doing all this? And it was plain to see in a lot of fans' eyes is because they believe that each one of those movies should have made $1 billion. They wanted Marvel money. This is my opinion. I'm sticking to it. The articles I've read are everywhere, but you had an alternative to Marvel. DC was that alternative, and that was a good thing, because we all saw when Joss Whedon marveled up the Justice League and we see what we got. Those characters don't fit in the mold and the lane that they did carve out for themselves throughout that start of the universe was quickly just taken away to try to be MCU light, unfortunately. But those characters aren't MCU light. They're the Trinity. That's the sum of what DC has done with their Trinity. Their big three are directionless, and we don't know what to expect when or if we get new versions of these characters, but I want to thank Ben Affleck. I want to thank Gal Gadot. I want to thank Henry Cavill for finally giving me a live action Trinity. You all really deserve better. Ben, better. Henry, absolutely better. Gal Gadot, better. And I always harken back to this when we think about where DC is going in the future. Imagine if at the end of Endgame, not seeing Cap, Iron Man, and Thor walking up to Thanos. That was MCU's foundation. They started there. They ended there. At least that version of the story. The established superheroes of the MCU were right there in the battle of it. And we've been along the journey the entire way with them. From their beginnings, to their ups, to their downs, to everything. It made that end battle way more meaningful than anything that DC has ever done. It doesn't look like we're getting this from DC in any time soon. So the upcoming slate doesn't get my juices flowing, not at all. I want to see an established Batman Bruce Wayne, and if it's not even Ben Affleck at this point, that's fine. Just give me a Batman. Oh, shoot, before I get, please give me no more real world Batman. No more real world Batman at all. After seeing Ben Affleck's Batman, the fights, the Saturday morning cartoon grapple gun swinging and batarang throwing Batman that we got from that, I don't want another real world Batman. That's on Elseworld, and somehow somebody's gonna have to describe Elseworld to the average fan. That and the Joker movie. But I digress. My interest just isn't there for that current slate coming up. I've seen what I wanted, and I've seen what can be done, and I've seen or possibly imagine what could be done. DC is heavy metal, man. That's why being like the MCU doesn't work for them or their characters. The tone that was set at the beginning was fitting, but so many missteps to try to catch up to Marvel at the expense of the great actors that they casted from start to finish, and to us, the fans. And the fans matter and contribute greatly to those box office numbers. It's been a steady decline because of all the uncertainty and shifting and reboots to come. Other than Aquaman making $1 billion, followed by BVS, Man of Steel, and Wonder Woman, and comically enough, the Justice League for Joss Whedon, every other property has made less than $400 million. Fans saw the writing on the wall really early. The universe that we had committed to is directionless and about to be no more. So why go see a movie that's telling me where we're going from here, but then I just end up driving into a lake?
I think it knows where it is going. The machine knows! Stop yelling at me! No, it's stop yelling! There's no room here! Remain calm. I have trained for this.
So my question to Warner Brothers and DC is, how can you build a DC universe without the Trinity? I'll answer. You can't. Or at least it's going to be difficult to even try. With those three, you'll bring in more of those casual fans who know those logos on a t-shirt, who know those logos on bottles, on cars, on toys, on book packs and shoes and all the stuff, all the merch that you sell that has a Batman logo on it. People know. People know a DC cinematic universe without first establishing your core three from the start just seems wild to me. The last 10 years have been an absolute waste of DC's big three. And that's my problem with DC and Warner Brothers at the moment. And that's one of the reasons I'm hopping off this ride. I'll probably see Flash just to see Michael Keaton and to see Ben Affleck as Batman one last time. But other than that, I'm probably off this ride for a good little while. And now I have to explain Elseworld when it comes to the Joker movie and the Batman movie, the Robert Pattinson Batman movie. For the average fan, this is a major turnoff. Shoot, for a DC fan of myself, that's a turnoff for me. Just not a vote of confidence from me at all when it comes to getting behind DC at the moment. Unless it's their animated movies. Their animated movies from day one have been dope. So as long as nobody touches those, I'm completely fine with those. But after the last 10 years, Man of Steel will be 10 years this year. 10 years old this year. And what do we have to show for it? Creature Commandos coming down the pipe. Peacemaker. Again, I'm gonna circle back to this. Marvel's big three at the moment, at the beginning, through Endgame, Cap, Iron Man, Thor. Let's be honest. Iron Man was like a BC list character until Marvel pushed him into the be-all, end-all of superheroes. Now Iron Man is essentially the GOAT of superheroes, at least for Marvel right now. It's untouchable. In DC, you have the three most recognizable brands in superheroes, in comic book history. And you can't give us, the fans, a great portrayal of those characters. You've had three great actors be those three characters. Why are you making it hard on yourself? I understand if you want to wipe your hands clean of Zack Snyder, I get it. But even what he gave us a Batman that we'd never seen before. Older, a veteran Batman, which was so dope to sort of see. A Superman who was conflicted between his responsibility because he was essentially a god. And how would we perceive Henry Cavill in real life if a man floated down from space now? We think he was a god, right? He can do everything. They hit on that. And Wonder Woman, that was one of the best stories of Wonder Woman. The first movie was one of the best DC movies that they made. And then tragically, 84 was one of the worst that was made, which makes no sense when you think about the character in 84. I thought she was supposed to have been hiding for so long. Why did she show up in 84? And the whole mall thing with her hitting out the cameras. Give me a break, man. That's me on my soapbox. I'm gonna reel it in for one last line. The last 10 years, I just feel played. All these promises and nothing ever comes of it. So here's to the next 10 years of figuring out what to do until they decide to reboot it again in the next 10 years. Yeah. I'm not going to look for DC. DC is going to have to find me. And that's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So I just want to say thank you for letting me vent a little bit when it comes to DC. If you have your opinions about where the DCEU, DCU, DC Cinematic Universe, wherever it is, whatever they want to call it, if you have an opinion about where it's gonna go or what you're looking forward to, comment in the description below, because comment in the comments below, because I would love to know why you are excited about this new slate. And I also want to know your opinions about everything I said, how we've sort of squandered the Trinity. So I guess we're just gonna erase them from everything once the Flash movie drops. Okay, I'm off my soapbox for real this time. Be sure to like and follow, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell everybody. All-Star Fandom. We're on All-Star Fandom on Instagram at All-Star Fandom Show. We're a show now. I'll probably upload the podcast, but not necessarily sure. So would love if you come back here to my YouTube channel, subscribe, definitely hit that subscribe button and notify button. New videos every Saturday. Looking forward to having more guests on as well. If you want to be a guest, drop it down in the comments below and let me know what your fandom is. If it's video games, TV shows, movies, clowns, wrestling, monster trucks, what else? Basketball rims. I don't know. But if you're a fan of it, let's talk about it. So again, thanks for letting me rant today. Thanks for letting me get on my soapbox. Love you guys. Thanks for your time and watching. Until next time, peace.